Hi everyone, this is Men's here. I'm playing the Tier 7 Type 5 Chiri, the Japanese medium tank. Even with its huge size, as you see here, the whole armor isn't all that great for Tier 7, so you definitely do not want to rely upon that. The mobility is pretty good, especially in a straight line, and once you get this top 7.5 centimeter autoloading gun, you can do quite a bit of damage, only because it has 3 rounds in it, which means you can output a little burst of damage quickly, and the reload time in between the drum isn't all that long, so it doesn't have a huge drawback. The main upside to this tank is its gun, and also that it's a little bit quick for the size and firepower it has. However, the main downsides of this tank, as you see here, is it has no armor, and it has this very long and tall size, so you can really run into a lot of problems with that. But I'm actually going to hop into a battle here, and let's see what map I get. Okay, so Fisherman's Bay, and helps I'm top tank here, but this is a okay map for this tank, only because you kind of want to, you either want to play this tank as a mid-range tank where you can pop in and out of cover, shoot your 3 shots, and back off before you get hit by anything, or you can play this a little bit closer in city fights if you're the top tank, only because you can kind of hide behind a corner, and when the enemy tries to come around, you have about 1, if not 2 shots to track them, so you can kind of get them stuck without their gun actually coming all the way around the corner and pointing at you. So you still have 1 or 2 shots left over to actually do damage, and if they don't have a repair skill, you then have 3 shots on the follow-up drum to do even more damage to them without them getting to you. Now that plays that situation. It's basically for any tank, but with an autoloader like this, you can kind of abuse it if you know how to do it right. I am playing this live, so bear with me if I kind of get into a tense moment. I can kind of zone out and focus on the match. As you see here too, the gun pressure on it is above average, so that really helps with cutting down on the size issue a little bit, but you're still gonna wish that you were a little bit smaller. I'm hoping that I don't have much of my tank showing, that I can just shrug off a little bit damage from this tank. Learning how to actually hide your weak spots and over angle, so when they shoot your side, that you don't take any damage, is really key for this tank. Yeah, I guess just shot a shot for the hell of it, and I didn't feel like hitting the reload button. I was just peeking out to see if anybody was there. Now you do have a decent amount of HP as well, so even though you do have low armor, later on in the match, if you still have the most of your HP, you can really just dive on in there and soak up quite a few shots without worrying too much about it. Now, I usually don't like going on a 1-2 line on this map only because I find it a little bit more difficult to push, only because there's not a ton of cover to use once you push out of your little area in that corner, either corner. I find the town a little bit easier to manage, no matter what kind of tank I'm in. So this is pretty good teamwork. We really have the kills and most likely damage spread out, which is always a good indicator if you have a good team. It's really hard to win just on the shoulder of 1 to 2 people all the time. You really don't want to rely on that. Overall, a pretty decent game. I got 2 kills. I lost half my HP, but that doesn't really matter if you survive. And overall, top 3 damage, and soaked up a little bit of damage, but I at least shrugged off a little bit by having my side highly angled. Now we're actually gonna stop for a quick commercial break, so we'll be right back after this. I'm actually gonna hop into another battle right now, and hopefully I get a little bit of a different map than Fisherman's Bay just to show off this. I was kind of hoping for something a little bit more hilly, but Hemelsdorf will do. Now, Hemelsdorf encounter. This tank being not highly mobile, if I was in a really mobile tank, I would try to actually push the central area of the map and then try to get behind a hill. But with this not being too mobile, I'm gonna just go straight to the hill, because usually if you lose the hill, you're just gonna be steamrolled, unless if you have a team that's smart enough to actually cap and set up well around it. Now, in slower tanks, you always want to be careful popping up right where I'm pointing here, only because you can get shot pretty quickly by people already set up. I do not want to be shot by him, so I am not going around that corner first. I'm going to let him shoot, I hope. And they just butted right in front of where I wanted to be. Come on, peek over. As you see there, that 3-round burst really helps. I'm gonna swing around and help this M6. Definitely don't want him to die, so hopefully he stays back. Now we got the T-29 out of the way though. I'm gonna push hard around this side. Hopefully, yeah, I was hoping he wouldn't get too much in my way. Shit, I didn't expect someone to hit me that quick from over there. It was most likely that other Chivery. I know it was KV1. Or, I don't know who it was. But, as you see there with that very long, longness of the Chivery, he kind of stuck out a little bit, so I was able to shoot him without him actually being able to hit me. So you always want to angle in a way that you are pointing directly into the cover. If he would have turned left a little bit, he would have only had his side highly angled towards me. I wouldn't have been able to shoot him without taking damage. And I kind of forgot about Artie. I didn't expect him to hit me. But I guess I should have paid a little bit more attention. With a tank this large, you never really want to sit out in the open like I just did and stop, only because if people hit you from the side, you're very tall, and if they hit you lengthwise, you're very long. So, more likely than not, you're going to get hit, and since your armor is so thin, more likely than not, they're going to penetrate. But this ARL-44 seems to be doing pretty well. He just needs, they're both one-shottable, I think, depending on which gun that IS has. Shoot him with HE. This is where this is a situation that you do want to have HE, and because and he had AP loaded, and for that he paid the price and died. But I know HE isn't always the best choice, or it's mostly never the best choice, but you always want to hold, for an autoloader, you don't exactly want to have a lot of HE, say in a bat chat, only because you don't have a lot of shells to work with, but for normal tanks, I always at least carry 2, 3, if not a little bit more if I have a lot of shells to spare, because it does come in handy for the tanks you either can't penetrate from the front, even with premium, or the ones with 50 or under HP in a high tier match. You just chuck a HE round at them and kill them. As you see here though, this Chivery, you got him on the first shot. So I'd say even if you miss that first shot, you still have 2 backup shots to work with. So really does give you a little bit of wiggle room if you miss that first shot. But overall, this is pretty decent game. I got second most damage. Could have had a little bit more if I didn't stop out in the open, and soaked up a little bit of damage, but that was mainly from that one artillery shot hitting me. So I'm actually gonna hop into one more battle here. Let's hope I get a map other than Fisherman's Bay or Hemelsdorf. And I think I just jinxed myself. I got Fisherman's Bay. Well, at least I got the other side, so it's not the same exact thing. And it's in a tier 8 match, so I'm still going to go over to the town, but I'm not going to play as aggressive. I don't want to stick out and get shot by any of those tier 7s, and especially those tier 8s on the other team, because they can really take a big chunk of my HP off. And instead of setting up in the 8 line, since I am a little bit lower tier, I'm gonna set up in the 9 line or the 0 line. Only because sometimes if you set up in the 8 line, you can't exactly poke out either side without being shot right away. But usually 9 and 0 you have a little bit more wiggle room to play with. But this tank really surprisingly mobile with the top engine in a straight line. Once you start turning, you really bleed a lot of speed, but to get to places quick in the match, it's not that shabby. Let's hope nobody shows up in that 9 line closest to the 0 line, or else they're gonna have a pretty good shot on me. Okay, now my butt was sticking out a little bit unangled, so that's why I was taking that damage. I didn't need to there. I'm just gonna back off a little bit. I don't want them to see where I'm moving to, but I'm gonna try to get over into the 0 line just to get a quick 3 shots off on them, then hopefully I can back up without them hitting me too quick. Our team's doing well enough that I'm not in too much of a rush. It's like, yeah, I'm not gonna get as much damage, but as long as if we win, that's all that counts. And looks like the T-25 is, he hasn't moved. I guess I didn't see him at first. And I actually can't hit him over the boat, which is a good and bad thing. I'm actually gonna move up just a hair. There we go. And let's see if I can't get back behind that boat. And hopefully my turret saves me here. Let's see. I can soak up one more shot from him. So let's hope this works. There we go. I probably could have swapped the HE and had a little bit of a better run at that. However, I kind of forgot that. This comet's most likely going to get me, but let's see if I can't do a bit of damage to him. Never mind. Looks like he's went down the other road. Come on, low roll, low roll. And it didn't happen. But overall, not a bad match for being in a tier 8 match. I probably could have played a little bit smarter over on that other corner. I had the angle of my side not as high as you would want it to be, and I took those 2 shots of damage that I didn't need to actually take. But usually when I do stick out the sides, I worry first about the angle of the side so I don't take damage, then I worry about shooting. but there I was more concerned about shooting the people first than actually setting up the right angle, which came back to bite me. But overall, our team played pretty well. We definitely won fairly easily, and this was an okay game. Third class for this. I got top 5 damage, which isn't too bad, and soaked up a little bit more than I had HP's worth. Still eked out a little bit of a profit. So overall, the Chi-Ri, it's definitely a hard tank to play, only because of the size and the lack of armor, but it's still a pretty unique and good tank to play once you kind of get used to it and you figure out how to hide those downsides of the tank. But anyway, thanks for watching my video. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel and check out my website, wotguru.com. Thanks for watching.